An early morning shooting in front of a city high school leaves 3 teens injured. What we're learning tonight about the search for the suspect. And Fox 45 continues our investigation into Safe Streets. A look at the potential political fallout as the FBI investigates one of the program's locations. Plus, the manhunt in Maine continues. Coming up later, a look at items found left behind by the suspect in the letter some are calling a suicide note.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 6.
Fox 45 is following 2 big stories in a city in crisis tonight. The FBI raids a Safe Streets location for possible gang affiliation. The pressure mounting for more transparency and the implications for Mayor Brandon Scott. And parents demanding change tonight after a shooting leaves 3 teens injured right outside of Carver Vocational High School.
This school is not safe for kids. Last year, it's been so many shootings, stabbings, robberies, people running into the school, running from the police. It's not a safe school for kids. Every day that my child leaves out the house to go to school, I'm concerned.
Good evening. I'm Maxine Stryker. Thanks for staying with us. We have team coverage, starting with Fox 45's Rebecca Pryor. She has the latest details surrounding that early morning shooting.
Well, according to police, those 3 teenagers are expected to survive, but tonight parents are still demanding action from city and school leaders, saying this school no longer feels like a safe place to bring their children.
Mere minutes after the morning school bell rang, gunshots ringing out in front of Carver Vocational Technical High School.
At first I was scared because I didn't know if they were going to come inside the building.
Classes begin at 7:45. By 7:50, 3 more teens falling victim to the city's growing juvenile gun violence.
It's a frightening thing for kids.
One of them, a 15-year-old in the area. The other 2, Carver students, ages 15 and 16.
You know, you get up in the morning and you prepare yourself to come to school. You don't prepare yourself to come to school and get locked down and you can't have no movement, people getting shot. Like, it's crazy.
An officer had already applied a chest press as well as a tourniquet to one of the victims.
According to Deputy Commissioner Kevin Jones, all 3 of the victims expected to survive as the search for a suspect continues.
Still active investigation. We do know that there was a possible fray, and then there was a discharge of a weapon.
Via email and on social media, the school alerting parents and immediately instating a lockdown, sending parents scrambling.
I've signed my son's name like so many times, what grade he's in, and I still don't have my son.
Frantic, fearful, and frustrated. Some parents criticizing the school system as they struggle to locate their child.
My husband was in the building. He had to come out the building. It's frustrating. I just want to lay eyes on my child.
Others criticizing city leaders.
Please find out where these guns coming from and stop it.
While many picking their students up, not sure when or if they'll be bringing them back to Carver.
It's a possibility that he need to go to another school because it don't make no sense that your child ain't safe in school.
Last year, it's been so many shootings, stabbings, robberies, people running into the school, running from the police. It's not a safe school for kids. It needs to be shut down. It really does.
Police say they are sorting through CCTV and school surveillance footage to help locate the suspect, who they believe to be an African-American male. No other details being released at this time about a potential suspect. But in the meantime, if you have any information into this case, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. In Baltimore City, Rebecca Pryor, Fox 45 News.
Fox 45 will follow this story as the search for a suspect continues and bring you the latest on air and online at foxbaltimore.com. The FBI tonight investigating at least one Baltimore Safe Streets site. Now the pressure is mounting for Mayor Brandon Scott to reveal more details about how that program operates. We continue our team coverage tonight with Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost. She's been looking into Safe Streets for years and has the latest on how this investigation could impact next year's election.
We know the FBI raided the Bel Air Edison Safe Streets location Thursday morning, and I'm told federal agents showed up around 6 o'clock in the morning and seized some property. Right now, it's unclear exactly the scope of the investigation, but sources close to it tell us that it could involve possible Black Guerrilla family gang affiliation. Now, with this federal investigation looming, political experts warn this could mean a very tough road for re-election for Mayor Brandon Scott. The Safe Streets site along Bel Air Road sits empty Friday after FBI agents executed a search warrant here and at the homes of 2 employees Thursday.
First of all, it's no surprise.
This woman lives in the Bel Air Edison community, doesn't want to show her face on camera, but wants her opinion shared, especially about Mayor Brendan Scott and his flagship gun violence prevention program.
As far as the mayor is concerned, he didn't need the job in the first place. Okay, I'm 81, but it's one of those things that just needs for everybody to leave.
Safe Streets now in the crosshairs of the federal government.
Has a negative connotation.
That is a black eye. Political analyst John Deedy says puts pressure on Mayor Scott to open up the books on the program.
He probably has more details and facts about this than the feds do now. So the best thing to do, if there's a situation, find a nice slow news day on a Friday and get everything out of the way.
For 2 years, Fox 45 News has been demanding answers from the mayor and the mayor's Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement. We've asked for the names of the employees. Who does the Safe Streets training? How is a mediation defined? And how do the nonprofits running each site manage time cards for employees and oversee the effectiveness of the program? Despite taxpayers funding the program, Mayor Scott and his team refusing to provide that information.
And if there's a problem, shut some things down, because you don't want a situation where they're looking into 1 or 2 sites and they find out there's 3 or 4 sites with issues.
The mayor keeping details about a program playing a critical role in his crime-fighting plan secret from the public.
If something comes up with an indictment before the primary, it could be a political blow to the mayor.
And Deedy isn't alone.
The FBI do not spend their resources unless they know there's criminal activity, there's criminal behavior.
Political commentator Armstrong Williams outlining the political implications of the FBI raid for the mayor.
The mayor, it's an indictment of his leadership, would come to grips with the fact that this is one location, but what is the actual duties and how is Safe Street spending that money and who's actually working for Safe Street?
After the FBI executed the search warrant, we sent questions to Mayor Scott asking how many current Safe Streets employees are breaking the law? Are any other Safe Streets sites under federal investigation? Is this latest black eye for the program enough for you to call for a pause in funding for and operations of Safe Streets? Will you now release the names of all Safe Streets employees to the public? Mayor Scott not answering the questions, instead saying everyone should be held accountable and that he will work with the federal partners through the investigation. Back in Bel Air Edison, people in the community on the fence about Safe Streets.
I don't know about the raid, but it's a good program. I think that things need to change.
But some are clear on where they stand on what this means for Mayor Scott moving forward.
He talk a good game, but he not. He ain't about no pain for the community.
I got to feel when re-election irregardless.
Especially since the Scott administration appears to continue to cover up information about the multi-million-dollar Safe Streets program. Well, there still are a lot of unanswered questions. We know the city's spending board is set to approve more than $3 million in state funding for Safe Streets next week. So while the FBI continues their investigation, we'll also continue to demand answers about how the city is spending your tax dollars. In the newsroom, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
Well, as Mackenzie mentioned, there's a lot of questions about how the Safe Streets program works, including how employees are hired and tracked and how it spends taxpayer dollars. All of that raises red flags for many experts who say the program and Monzi as a whole needs to be audited.
Public information such as what we're talking about is public under Maryland law. And when you redact these things, it is arguably a violation of the law on its face in the state of Maryland. So they need to have radical transparency, forensic audits. We need to be able to follow the money and, quite frankly, the elites, those large organizations like LifeBridge, which runs that center that was raided today, or Catholic Charities that run other centers on the Safe Streets program. Those elite organizations, why are they taking taxpayer money? Look, Catholic Charities got $143 million of gross revenue in the latest year available. The CEO of LifeBridge Health made $2.3 million, and 5 executives made over $750,000 in the latest year available. Why do they need taxpayer help? They should lighten the load on the local taxpayer. They should pitch in on their noble charitable mission.
The Safe Streets program hires former convicts, but it's not clear how the program makes sure employees don't continue to commit crime while they're working for Safe Streets. One example is Ronald Alexander, a Safe Streets worker who was convicted of distributing drugs in the communities he was tasked with protecting. He also tried to use his status as a Safe Streets worker to hide his drug dealing. And in the Brooklyn office last year, a federal indictment accused Vernon Harper of possessing fentanyl with the intention of distributing it. The former Safe Streets worker was sentenced to 18 months in prison. And then there's the case of Desmond Scrugan's murder. Safe Streets worker Ronald Brady Jr. was accused of killing him in September 2019. The case went to trial in 2022 but ended in a hung jury. Brady was ultimately acquitted back in March. Then Scrugan's family has since been highly critical of the Safe Streets program. They call it a, quote, criminal enterprise.
My belief is that our city government is financing a criminal enterprise. I believe that within my heart. Our city government is so invested in it that it's turning a blind eye to what it really is.
In the wake of the FBI investigation, Fox 45 asked our viewers, should Safe Streets be shut down immediately? 97% of people who responded said yes. And that brings us now to our question of the day. Do you think the mayor is being transparent about Safe Streets? So far, 99% of those who voted say no. If you want to make your voice heard, head to foxbaltimore.com/vote.
Fox 45 is following breaking news out of Israel. The military is expanding ground operations in the Gaza Strip. Now, the news follows explosions that rocked Gaza City, knocking out internet and cell phone service. Officials say the largest telecommunications provider was impacted, sending Gaza into near total internet blackout. An IDF spokesperson says soldiers are surrounding all borders in the air, ground, and the sea. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby declined to comment on Israel's expanded military campaign. Now, since October 7th, more than 7,000 people have been killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health. In Israel, more than 1,400 people have been killed. Maxine?
President Joe Biden has a new challenger. I'm Janae Bones in Washington with a look at why Democratic Congressman Dean Phillips says he should be the next president.
And if you plan on spending time outside tonight, it looks great with temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Another warm day is in store tomorrow. I'll let you know how warm it gets and when to expect a cool down in my full forecast.
Yeah. Fox 45 continues to follow the intense manhunt in Lewistown, Maine for 40-year-old Robert Card. He's accused of killing 18 people and leaving dozens others injured in 2 mass shootings Wednesday night. Investigators today said they recovered a cell phone and what appears to be a suicide note from Card. According to CNN, the note suggested that when it was found or read, that Card would no longer be alive. Police say they'll be focusing their search tonight on a river near where Card's vehicle was found. The shelter-in-place order implemented in surrounding areas following the shootings has been rescinded, but hunting is prohibited in some areas beginning tomorrow. Democratic Congressman Dean Phillips, he's launched his long-shot bid for president Friday in New Hampshire. President Joe Biden's age, a key factor in his campaign. National correspondent Janae Bowens brings us the latest tonight from Washington.
I'm Dean Phillips, and I'm running for President of the United States of America.
Congressman Dean Phillips of Minnesota is the first sitting lawmaker to take on Biden in the Democratic presidential primary.
I think it's time for a new generation. I think it's time to pass the torch. And I say now. I think the time is now, because I think 4 years from now, it might be too late.
Biden's age, a key factor in Phillips' decision to run. That sentiment echoed in a poll from Monmouth University released earlier this month. It shows 56% of Democrats say President Biden is too old to serve another term.
America is telling all of us, through polling, through conversation, that they do not want this man as our nominee next time.
Congratulations. But the polling shows Phillips' chances might be a long shot. A large majority of Democrats, 68%, are enthusiastic about Biden becoming the party's nominee.
I don't know if this is actually going to be a significant primary challenge. In all likelihood, it probably isn't. But you know, a sign of weakness for presidents who may end up losing re-election is that they had some trouble within their own primary.
Phillips is a Biden supporter, but there are key issues where he's going to attempt to draw a distinction, such as crime and the border.
Chaos at our border and in our cities is growing, while our commitment to countering it is receding.
The Biden campaign appears to be brushing off Phillips' run. In a statement, they didn't even mention him by name, but said in part, quote, President Biden is proud of the historic, unified support he has from across the Democratic Party for his re-election.
Now, Maxine, Phillips announced Friday in New Hampshire, traditionally the nation's first presidential primary, but due to Democratic Party rule changes, it won't be recognized this year, and Biden isn't on the ballot there, potentially giving Phillips a chance to boost his candidacy.
And Janae, how are members of the Democratic Party responding to his bid?
So not so well. Biden allies are calling Phillips' run a distraction that will highlight Biden's weak points. Now, Phillips recently left his House Democratic leadership position because of scrutiny over his calls for a Biden alternative. Maxine.
Janae Bowens live for us tonight in D.C. Thanks so much for being there.
Right now, you're taking a look over Baltimore and over Towson. It's been another nice and warm day. Great start to the weekend. On the HD radar, you can see a few showers ahead of a cold front. That's going to be our next weather maker, bringing in cooler temperatures for the end of the weekend. It's still going to be nice, though, this evening and tomorrow. 76 for the current temperature with mostly cloudy skies and winds out of the south. We're dry right now following a few very isolated showers earlier in the afternoon. Across the rest of the state, though, temperatures are mainly in the 70s. It'll be a warm evening, good for eating outside or just spending some time outdoors. Overnight, the temperatures stay mild, falling to the 50s and 60s. And then by the afternoon, get ready for even higher temperatures. We're looking at 84 tomorrow afternoon. Then following a cold front, only 70 on Sunday, still above average for this time of year, but we will have the chance for a few showers. We'll have another chance for showers on Monday with temperatures again in the low 70s. Notice on the HD radar, we're dry. We've got high pressure to our south. As we look west, there are a few showers, and then there's the cold front. That is what's going to bring those cooler temperatures for the end of the weekend, and a second front will lead to cooler temperatures for Halloween. So on the future scan, not much happens overnight. Clouds will gradually clear, and we'll wake up to plenty of sunshine in the morning. By the afternoon, highs reach the low to mid 80s, and we're talking sunny skies before clouds move in for the night. We'll have the chance for a few spotty showers off and on. It looks mostly cloudy as the day begins on Sunday, but into the afternoon, we're still talking stray showers across the state. Make sure that you are checking the radar if you do have plans to be outside. 62 for the low temperature, keeping things mild overnight. And then tomorrow we have another warm day with high temperatures approaching the mid-80s. We'll have plenty of sunshine, but then the cool temperatures follow for Sunday and next week. Coming up, I'll have a closer look at what to expect approaching Halloween in the exclusive 10-day forecast.
United Airlines flight attendants in 20 cities across the country threatening to strike their demands for better pay as the airline announces its billions in profits. In tonight's Assignment America, United Airlines flight attendants across the country are pushing for new contracts, including better pay. Monique Lopez from our Sinclair sister station in Austin heard from a group of flight attendants outside one Texas airport and has the story.
Not even a heavy downpour of rain Thursday morning stopped United Airlines flight attendants from coming out to make their voices heard.
It shows just how passionate we are at getting an industry-leading contract and telling United Airlines to stop delaying at the negotiating table.
Flight attendants represented by the Association of Flight Attendants say they haven't been given what they rightfully deserve for years.
It is time to come to the negotiating table with proposals that we can actually get behind and actually agree to.
They say the contract the airline is bringing to the table includes longer work days and not enough pay for the work they do.
We have new hire flight attendants that are making less than somebody would make at Buc-ee's, basically, to start. So, you know, basing them in the most expensive cities in the United States.
The picket comes on the heels of United Airlines announcing its third quarter profits in the billions.
During a time where we are raking in record profits, and yet the people that provide the most value face-to-face time with our customers, they are asking for concessions for us. How does that make sense?
CBS Austin reached out to United Airlines for comment about the protests. In a statement, the airline said, "We are seeing good progress in our negotiations with the Association of Flight Attendants and closed out 6 sections of our contract with them on Wednesday."
If they're not able to do that, if they're still delaying the contract that we are fighting for, we will go all the way. We will vote to strike, and we will take it all the way to a strike.
You have another nice warm summer-like day tomorrow as temperatures reach 84. Then we're talking 70 and still above average on Sunday. We'll have the chance for a few spotty showers. 71 with scattered showers on Monday. And then for Halloween, much cooler, 55 for the high with the lows falling to the 30s. There's the chance for a few spotty showers, but it doesn't look like a washout for Halloween. 56 on Wednesday, then back to 60 on Thursday with plenty of sunshine. After that, temperatures will stay below average in the upper 50s and low 60s. Maxine?
Well, Halloween may just be 4 days away, but the city is already preparing for its largest holiday attraction, the Christmas Village in Baltimore. The event is returning for its 10th anniversary with new surprises and more Christmas cheer than ever. Brand new updates this year include a Winter Wonder holiday bar, new holiday slushies, and signature holiday cocktails. More vendors than ever before in a 10th anniversary celebration. The fun starts on Thanksgiving, November 23rd, and goes until Christmas Eve. And remember, we're your exclusive home for the 2023 World Series. The pregame show starts tonight at 7 right here on Fox 45. Game 1 begins at 8 o'clock, and you can catch our news after the game. That's all for Fox 45 News at 6. Family Feud is next. We'll see you tonight after the game. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.